This is hands down my new favorite device. You guys love the HaleHound firmware on the cheap yellow display. Well, this is HaleHound all grown up. When I made my last video about the cheap yellow display, everybody in the comments was asking me to make a maxed out version. Well, this thing is maxed out. This thing's got a GPS right up top here. It's got an NRF24 for 2.4 GHz frequencies. It's got a CC1101 for Sub-GHz frequencies, and it's running a new alpha version of HaleHound firmware. Plus, this alpha firmware has got some secrets that Jesse Hale, the creator of HaleHound, has been cooking up. And whatever you do, make it to the end of this video because we're going to tear this thing down and see exactly how it works. It is crazy. He did a fantastic job building this. What I love most about this project is this is all 100% DIY. You can't just go out and buy this. You have to make it yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's just a cheap yellow display. Alright, I am way too psyched for this video. Let's get into it.
This video is for educational purposes only. Only test your own hardware. Doing otherwise is illegal. Don't be a skid.
Alright, so let's take a look at these things. You can see the old unit right here in yellow and then the new unit in purple. This looks so good. Jesse printed this case for me, although I did make the blue stripe on the side because I thought it looked nifty. But yeah, you can see there's a big difference in size. This is a 3.5-inch display. I think this is 2.8, so big difference there. You'll also notice that I've got different background on this one over here because this is the alpha version of the firmware. So freaking cool. Now, while the firmware can do a lot of the same things, this guy is absolutely hooked up because we have all of the extra I/O and antennas and stuff up there. The GPS antenna sits there, then this is the NRF24 antenna, and this guy right there is our Wi-Fi antenna, which gives it so much better range, and it's actually adjustable, and it works just as well at any orientation. It's a fantastic antenna. Love this thing. So let's hop into some features here and see what's going on. I'm actually going to move this out of the way. And let's get into it. Oh, hello. So yeah, if we pop into Wi-Fi, we can see we have all of the Wi-Fi tools that we expect to find in features like this. Now we have our packet monitor. Let's take a look at that. And it's just gorgeous. It's got this great waterfall on it. It's such a good design. I absolutely adore this device. Jesse did such a nice job. One of the things that I was talking to him about is he wanted to make a really useful device, but he also wanted to make it look cool and do cool stuff. Because not every single device, they're trying to make things look as nice as he is. So I really appreciate that from this project. Now we went through and checked out a lot of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth capabilities of this device. However, you'll notice down here we have a BLE5 option because this firmware actually supports an ESP32C5, which is in the making. Now this one doesn't have it inside quite yet, but I know when Jesse figures everything out, we'll get it working. So that's very cool. So if we go back, go to our main menu. Now, in classic HaleHound firmware, we do have the Wi-Fi Guardian, so if anybody's trying to send any nefarious packets or frame, this will actually detect it. Now, this is the time where I say to only test your own devices, and this is me giving myself permission to test all my own devices. So if anybody's trying to send you any of these frames, you can detect them and know that somebody is actually trying to do something in your network. I love devices that will actually help you tell if someone's trying to hack you, because at the end of the day, keeping your own network safe is of utmost importance. So luckily, if we watch it right here, nothing's happening, so that's good to go. Alright, so moving on. So as I said before, this thing actually has a GPS antenna. It's really cool. If we go into GPS, it probably won't catch any satellites inside my test environment, but it does have the GPS antenna on here, and because it's DIY, we could put our own SMA antenna on here and make it even bigger, even better. So it's very cool. But it's printed right into the case. Really nice. Great form factor. So yeah, you can see the GPS tracker right here. I have to keep the display brightness super low so the contrast works, but yeah, you can see just how nice this interface is. Jesse wanted to make a device that's not only super useful, but kind of looks cool and looks fun. Because, you know, at the end of the day, why not? Why does everything security related have to be so clinical and boring? I don't know. I don't like that. So one of the things, because obviously we have GPS, let's go back out of here. That means that we can do things like war driving. Super cool. So we can see right now, let's click start and see what happens. Now again, we have no GPS in here, but we'll notice that we already have 18 devices. Very cool. And I've been scanning in this test environment over and over again, so it's removing duplicates because pretty much everything's a duplicate, and it's saving to HaleHound CSV down here, so we could upload that directly to WiGLE. Literally couldn't be easier. The one thing I might think would be cool, again, it's DIY, is if we designed into the case a MagSafe ring, so it'd stick to a MagSafe mount for a car. I don't know, I think that would be pretty cool. So let's let's stop that. Next up is a feature that really highlights the power of the GPS module, sensor transparency. Some call it flock U, but practically it's a high-level privacy audit. As we drive, HaleHound identifies the beacons from public ALPR sensors. It's not interfering with them, it's just showing us where the data collection is happening. For anybody interested in digital privacy, seeing this infrastructure visualized in real time is a massive eye-opener. Because remember, these cameras are recording everything you do and have facial recognition. And according to some reports now, have people actually watching them. Yeah, that's right. It sounds like there's actually Flock employees watching live feeds of cameras inside places like gymnasiums and stuff. Like, I really wouldn't want people watching me. So anytime that the device has a Flock tracking service on it, I think that's a benefit to the community. So thanks again, Jesse, for that feature. Awesome. Now there is one feature I can't use on this device because I actually don't have the NRF or RFID card in here. But yeah, you can actually use this to scan an RFID or an NFC card, but you do need to have the right hardware for it, which unfortunately I do not have right at the moment. It says check your wiring. No worries, we'll do that upgrade in the future, maybe when we get the C5. So those are some of the additional features that Jesse's added to HaleHound since my last video. But let's go ahead and tear this guy apart because what's inside this thing is just as cool as the firmware. And if you're looking to make a project just as awesome as HaleHound, but need a little help, that brings us to today's sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all things PCB design, manufacture, CNC, sheet metal fabrication, and so much more. Plus, until June 15, 2026, they're running their KiCad PCB design contest. You could be one of 3 winners to win an Excellence Award, which would get $500 cash and a Raspberry Pi 5. It's an absolute blast and a great way to share some really cool stuff with the community and, you know, maybe win something. So head on down to PCBWay.com for a free instant quote. Thank you so much to PCBWay for your continued support. You guys are awesome. All right, let's get back at it. Let's go ahead and get into that. Turn it off. One of the things that's cool is he put a little push button on the back for the power on, power off. I don't know, I kind of like it. It is a little bit touchy, so sometimes you can accidentally reboot the device, but I don't know, everybody uses switches, and I just love this little push button. I don't know, something about it. All right, let's take it apart. All right, so it's actually very, very simple to take apart. As far as getting the case off goes, disregard my screwing sounds. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this thing is a little scary when it's taken apart, so let's lay this down and take the top off. Just simple one piece right there. And then here's the blue part that I put in here, but this is the crazy part. Actually, let me move the camera for this. Okay, now we go with a true top down and carefully open this guy up because you can see this thing is a lot. There is a lot going on inside there. So here's the battery that I very clumsily installed myself, but the rest of this is Jesse's handiwork. All right, so as you can see, this is just your standard cheap yellow display right here, but we've added a bunch of stuff to it. So this is the eByte E07. This is the CC1101 that actually Rabbit Labs uses. This thing is absolutely amazing and captures really, really solid signals. Over here is, again from eByte, it's an E01. That's an NRF24, so that's where our 2.4 gigahertz comes from. We've got a charging circuit down here, which is what I really poorly soldered into myself. The GPS sits right here. And then this little guy right here is a buck converter that's giving a clean, solid 3v3 power to the NRF and the CC1101. But yeah, you can see just how much work was put into this. And I know it looks complicated. But it's actually not anywhere near as bad as you might think. You just kind of got to do one thing at a time. Take your time and, you know, it's a learning experience. All of this is just a learning experience. So yeah, we can pick it up ever so carefully and just see how detailed and how amazing this thing actually is. Yeah, it's about as good of a view as I can possibly get of it. It's kind of gorgeous in its own right. Now, I solder all my own stuff with just black wire, so it would be a huge mess if I made this. This just goes to show you, with a little bit of ingenuity, a little bit of time, a little bit of care and practice, you can make amazing devices yourself. Even put the heat set brass fittings in there, which I absolutely love because I've taken this apart a bunch of times, and yeah, it works great. So let's see if I can put this thing back together without breaking it. And let's go. Now I popped the charge board off of the little place it's supposed to stay into, so that's going to be the hardest part, I think, to get that back in. I think that's mostly in place. Flip this around. And then hold it like that. Make sure it still works. Power on. Okay, cool. Pop the front part back on, and any luck, we can get this thing screwed back together, and Bob's your uncle. I know it's not lined up. It's okay. Relax. There we go. Now, I was talking to Jesse about working on these things, and he was like, yeah, I don't ever unplug anything. I just kind of go for it. And yeah, it's worked out pretty well. So, you know, sometimes you got to be careful. Sometimes you don't. And because he used brass inserts for these, you don't really have to worry too much about stripping anything out, because those brass inserts are sturdy. They're really good. One more. Oh, hello. And fire back up. You can see the lights in the back are working, screen's still working, fantastic. And now we have our HaleHound back and better than ever. And again, we can print a different case, we can do anything for this, because 100% DIY means 100% do it yourself, do it with a friend, do it with whoever you want, just be safe. So yeah, that's pretty much a quick once over of the brand new HaleHound setup. I absolutely love this project. I gotta tell you, I absolutely am in love with this device, and I really want to upgrade it as much as I possibly can from here. Now, I know there are a bunch of you out in the community that have made these yourself, so if you're one of them, please leave a comment down below, send a link to a picture, something. We have a ton more amazing devices coming up in the future, so keep an eye out on my latest videos. Definitely subscribe, like, throw me a comment, it helps me out so much. And just a huge thanks to Jesse Hale for this project. You kind of breathed new life into the entire community, got a lot of us really excited, so thank you so much. Once in a while, somebody just shows up and just shakes things up, so we really appreciate that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are absolute legends. We'll catch you next time.